Hello, investors, and welcome back to Just Randy Stocks. We got a news update on PTRA, or the Spac merger with Arclight Clean Transition, or ACTC. So we're going to be able to stop saying ACTC because that ticker symbol is due to change next Tuesday to PTRA. So Arclight Clean Transition Corporation announces shareholder approval of business combination with Proterra. So that Spac merger is going to be complete. We're going to be talking about price movement and is this still a steal? And then we'll also be talking about deployment and reorders happening within the business. Can they keep up with demand? And will the business 5X over the next 5 years? And what's happening with the infrastructure bill? Finally, we'll talk about inflation. So first off, if you don't have a Twitter account, I would suggest getting one if you own ACTC or the upcoming PTRA ticker symbol change. You might want to follow the tweets that come out with Proterra. You'll see about an hour ago, there was the launch of this public transit. They took a lot of beautiful photos. This is up in Canada. So you can see from this picture here, further adoption of the Proterra buses. So if you go straight to Proterra's webpage and you go under company information and investors, you could see that June 11th they went ahead and it's password protected, but Arclight Transition Corp announced a shareholder approval of business combination with Proterra. I don't think that this is a surprise to any investors. They were expecting this to happen. Maybe a little bit further price movement and action on the ticker symbol. So you can see that in the last 5 days, it's been relatively flat. It's hit this line up here at $19.26, and then it's fell down to around $18.62, $18.54. And the real movement, the opportunity to get in on the stock was when it was at $14, and I talked about this in my previous video, or right there around the mid $13 range. If you were able to, it's really hard to anticipate where the bottom's going to be, but on this channel, I believe in buying low and selling high. We're sitting at $19 right now, and we do have the infrastructure bill that's still in the process of getting passed. So we have a catalyst of not only the ticker symbol change, but we've got the infrastructure bill coming up. And we know that Proterra had a visit from the president. So these are all catalysts that we could see coming up next week. So Proterra stock forecast, is it a buy? And there was an article that I found that was done yesterday. And there's only one analyst that is predicting a $23 stock price on this in the right now, that it's a buy and that's at $23. So is it a steal at this price now at $19? I just have to say that the bottom came in at $14, and that's where I was telling people to buy the stock. It's believed to be at $23, but this is going to be one of those ticker symbols that you're not going to see a lot of volatility. I don't expect a lot of pump and dump plays on this or this becoming a stock meme. So if you're looking for a stock that you can put your money into, it's in the early stages of global adoption of, this specific segment. I don't know that there's going to be another big bus play that's going to really be incredibly competitive to Proterra's infrastructure that they already have. So you can see here in this article that Proterra's merger date is set. They had the call here at June 11th, which was this morning. It was approved. The ticker symbol will change to PTRA. And if you're not sure what's going to happen, Tuesday morning, the ticker symbol changes on its own. So, you don't have to do anything if this is your first time going through a ticker symbol change with a SPAC play. So typically what you'll see and what we've seen previously with some of the SPAC plays is that there's a big sell-off after the ticker symbol does change, and all the anticipation leading up to the ticker symbol changing, like close of business Monday, you might see some people take profits at opening bell Tuesday morning. So there might be an opportunity to get in on this. I would say if you're not already in, that this isn't a steal of a price because there's still only two factories. They have a backlog. And if if some news came out that said that they were opening a third factory, I mean, you would definitely want to be in before that news comes out. So here's another article that just shows you that people that have committed to Proterra are continuing to buy the buses as funding becomes available to adopt zero admission technology. So ETS 40 Proterra buses manufactured. They entered into service in early August 2020, and the Edmond Transit Service, or ETS, will add 20 new zero admission buses to its fleet in the near future, thanks to an agreement between Canada Infrastructure Bank, CIB, and the city of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Another thing that you want to be on the lookout for is most certainly what is happening with this infrastructure bill and the framework. So you could see there was a bipartisan agreement. 10 senators announced Thursday that they had reached an agreement on the framework of a proposed infrastructure package that could be worth as much as 1.2 trillion. And it looks like, there's no question that this bill is going to move forward. It's just, how are they going to pay for it? So I know they're working out some of the details. A person familiar with negotiations but unauthorized to discuss them publicly told the Associated Press that the cost of the new negotiated plan would be $974 billion over 4 or 5 years. I think Biden wanted $1.2 trillion spread over 8 years. So they're still in this negotiation. We know that this is going to happen. We know it's top on the president's agenda for this infrastructure bill. I don't think anybody disagrees that we need infrastructure improvements. What exactly is happening with this whole word that gets thrown around called inflation? What is happening with that? And how can it influence the overall stock market? And will it just go back to normal? So if you've driven around in any new city or your own city, you may notice that there are a lot of hiring signs and people are hesitant to go back to work. There's a whole number of reasons. Early retirement. There is a labor shortage, and that labor shortage is causing productivity issues with specific companies and logistics issues. So we've got a labor shortage. We've got people that don't want to sell their homes, which is causing a housing shortage. There's a number of things that are causing the price of vehicles. So if you can't produce a lot of vehicles due to these shortages, then people are more inclined to buy the used cars, and those prices are going up. I just recently sold a used car and got a pretty good deal for it. If the economic conditions weren't as they would have been, given this type of environment, I might not have gotten that much. I've also done some house hunting looking, and houses are going off the market very quickly, and people are paying above the asking price. And if you watch any of your home improvement shows, you would see that typically they can negotiate down, and it's expected 15, 20,000. And now you're seeing it in the opposite direction because people have been holding on to their homes due to COVID and due to the fact that they're a little afraid that they can't find a home for a good value because they're going for so much. So you could be left spending so much in rent, you may consume a lot of what you just made off the house that you just sold to have the same type of living conditions. So there's a lot of things happening surrounding inflation. And while the stock market hasn't really reacted to that, we're still going to have to wait and see how this inflation topic is handled in the future. And it could present an opportunity to get in on this stock at a better price. So the whole reason I wanted to talk about inflation was I believe that the price target here, you want to look for an event in the market to buy low. So right now, I don't think that this is a low price for the stock. I think it's still a good entry price, but I'd like to see you get in lower, and there could be an opportunity after the ticker symbol changes where maybe this cools down a little bit, but you know what? It could go to $23 and not settle back down with all the contracts that this business has in place. The only thing in the future that I could see happening with this stock that presents another buy-in opportunity would be a battery shortage when all of these companies start trying to get the same resources from a battery infrastructure standpoint. The United States is well behind on the EV market as far as, places that manufacture batteries. And while the company could have a plan, they could be pulling on the same resources that a lot of other companies are pulling on. So those are my thoughts, and leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. And congratulations on the vote, on the price if you got in at $14 or below. And I'll see you in the next video.